This tutorial uses Strata Hammer, accessible through Portal 2 Community Edition. A disclaimer will be shown on screen when P2CE specific elements are mentioned.
Hello everyone, my name is Hazel, and I'll be doing a fairly short tutorial on linked portal doors, or as they're more colloquially known, world portals. These are entities that are, well, portals that the player does not necessarily directly interact with. They cannot create them in-game. This is something that a hammer mapper adds to their map to connect two disconnected areas together without physically connecting them. That sounds a bit complicated. I can promise you they are dead easy. Today I'll be using Strata Hammer because every feature that Portal 2 has for world portals is in Strata, but there's a couple of extra things that Strata Hammer has for, or Strata in general has for world portals that base Portal 2 does not have, and I'll go over that in the latter half, first half, bare minimum. So I already have a test map open here for y'all. In each room there is one light, specifically a spotlight, and it's pointing at two different sets of frames, and the rooms are colored differently to help differentiate which room is which. Now over on the right hand side here, I'm going to start with placing down an entity and creating a linked portal door. One of the other things features of Strata is that there is a area coverage preview, so you can see how much area that the world portal will actually take up. So I'm going to move this into position in the 2D. Something to note on both versions of the game, this bigger side, the red line, is going to be what side the portal faces. You could also tell off of the yellow line in the 2D views, so you can get that orientation correct. Now, with the link portal door, you have a couple key values. There are no flags. The first one that we're going to do is we're going to name this Portal Basic 1. And we'll come back to that here in a second. Next up is the half width and half height. This is asking for essentially radius. It's not the correct term, but it's the easiest way to explain it. What it's going to take is going to take the value entered and double that for the full width or height. So because this is a 120 by 120 frame, our half width will be 64, and our half height will also be 64 to fill in that whole frame. The other key value we have to worry about is a linked partner. In this case, I'm going to call this Portal Basic 2. It's going to show up as red if it does not have an actual entity that's called that linked. We're going to get to that here in just a moment. And we're going to leave start active as true, but oftentimes you might not want it active right away. Performance, or even some gameplay element, see my map chroma dimensional, and you'll get the general gist of the tomfoolery you can get up to with world portals. Once it's done, I'm going to copy this over to the right hand side of the other room. Go over there. Note, sometimes this does break. I believe this is going to be fixed in the future. For now, we're going to set this portal's link partner to Portal Basic 1. And we're going to change its name to Portal Basic 2, the same as the link partner we set on the other portal in the black tile room. And of course, we're going to leave this as yes. And running a quick compile on this. Once we're in the game, I'm going to open up the World Portal tutorial map. And here is our active working portal. Now, something to note is that this is a very obvious jar, and in Portal 2, what you typically do to hide this seam is have on the opposite side of the portal a duplicate of this light or something on the other side of the portal, I should say, to make it seem like it is a smooth transition. And like I said before, you can toggle these on or off for gameplay elements or performance. The world's your oyster. Now, there is one other thing that Strata Hammer supplies you. So like I mentioned, you may have noticed that the lighting is not exactly a smooth transition. I explained how you can minimize that in base Portal 2, but there's a Strata feature that allows you to not really have to worry about it all that much. Let's go ahead and duplicate these portals. And we'll give them a new name and link partner here in just one moment, but what I want to do is point you to this K value, static portal. If you set this to true, what this tells the engine, as per the help box down there, is that these portals are completely static. They will not move, not change, not toggle, nothing. And that allows you to do something that I think is really, really handy. First, let me finish naming these. Now, once I have these named, I'm going to press F9, and sometimes you may see this. Obviously, go to Expert, so that way you can have all the fancy bells and whistles and be able to change a lot of these parameters. What you're going to want to select is HDR Portal Lighting Full Compile for your current config. And you can see the change in here between the HDR Full Compile and HDR Full Compile with Portal Lighting is that there's another parameter that's added into VRAD for LightEXE called Portal Traversal Lighting. And I'll show off that here in just one moment. Now back in game, you can see we still have the dead portal. If I reload the map, here we have the portal that I set to be Portal Traversal with the lighting. And look at that. The lighting actually goes through the portal. There's a couple of artifacts in here, but that's something you can pretty easily hide out with some smaller lights and whatnot. But it makes the transition between world portal sites way smoother. But again, this only works if the portal is static as the key value and will not open, will not close, will not toggle, and will not move. Now do note, as of current, this only properly works with light spots. This will not work with the standard light entity. That is something I believe that's being looked into, but hopefully this will help you out with getting some nicer transitions between world portal areas. Here's one other entity that I want to gloss over real quick, and you might have noticed when I was selecting the linked portal door earlier, is there is a linked prop portal door. This uses a beta model, which is left over in files, but this kind of does what it says on the tin. It is a predefined world portal or linked portal door with a beta model on top. In PC, you can change this model. You can set its linked partner and everything. The only thing you cannot do is set the static, the size, or everything. This is a pre-standard size. And these portals will default to being closed while the door is closed and will open when the door is opened. And with that, I think I'm done for today. If you have any questions, you can obviously leave them in the description. If you want to see other tutorials that you want to see, also comment about it. And be sure to subscribe to see more tutorials in the future. Once again, I've been Hazel, and have a great night.